How come most startups fail, even when we have more tactics and strategies than ever before? Join the bedside chat of an entrepreneurial couple as they share what it takes to create a business with ease and in flow.
Welcome everybody back to another Biz in Flow bedside chat. I'm Natasha Crew.
And I'm Jachym.
Yoo-hoo, we're a bit more energetic today, gotta say.
Well, I'm quite tired.
Compared to the last episode.
Yeah, it's very true. It's not 1 o'clock.
We were slowly melting last time. Oh, but speaking of melting, today we went on a crazy hike. Well, it wasn't so crazy except to the point where we crossed the line of where it says, no human should walk there. And of course, when, we kept going, and only to realize there was the avalanche from the winter.
Mm-hmm.
It's April, end of April. Well, tomorrow's May. But, we realized, okay, this is old, hardened, icy avalanche. And let's just climb across that. So.
Yeah. And we survived, yay.
Oh, yay.
Anyways, what did you learn today?
What did you learn today? Today, what came across my mind as a theme was about confidence and how that plays into leadership and actually where confidence actually comes from.
Tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people are chasing confidence and trying to do X, Y, Z to gain confidence. So tell us, enlighten us.
Enlighten you.
Enlighten me.
Well, here's the thing that I've learned in the last few days, right? Is that as you get to meet different characters or people with different personalities and just different communication styles and how different people operate, I realized that, certain people seem to be quite confident. It's as if they can say whatever they want, like if they intend to do something, and they're able to do it, without much thinking, without, just a struggle, let's say, to speak up their mind and to be direct about it. And I always thought that being confident means you're just able to do what you want and not feel insecure about what others think, and just to come from a confident place. And for me, that actually means, yes, it does have to take the form of action, right? It's not just like, I'm internally confident and then it doesn't show in my behavior. I think it does have to translate into your action. But I was thinking about how people actually exude this confidence, because I have noticed that someone can seem or appear very confident and be able to do all the things that I've just listed just now, right? But I'm starting to wonder if that is true confidence. Because I guess what I mentioned, which is the ability to just speak your mind and be upfront and be direct and have no problem doing that, that's a great skill. But sometimes it can seem a bit harsh or to come from a place that doesn't just sit quite right with me, like in my stomach, in my gut. I guess that's the best way I can describe it for you right now. And it made me kind of think about, well, is that really confidence?
Yeah, well, in my view, lots of people have adopted certain behavior and it's just a coping mechanism. So a friend of mine, she appears confident and she always gets people saying to her, oh, you're so confident and whatever. And actually, she feels very insecure.
Oh, I'm sure there are a lot of people who other people perceive them to be confident, but they're actually very, very, very insecure inside.
And some people, they have adopted this, kind of way of projecting outside and being confident that they might have lost sight even that they are insecure at some level, but it's still there and it's still impacting them, and they still feel like they have to, be a certain way, act a certain way, talk to people a certain way so that they are showing the confidence.
Does vulnerability have anything to do with confidence in your experience? Because vulnerability is a really, really popular word lately, keyword that's been thrown around, right? It kind of touches on being authentic and authenticity. What does being authentic or being vulnerable, does that have anything to do with confidence?
Well, to answer the question, let's first define what I see where confidence comes from, which is that confidence is actually a natural state. It's not something that needs to be worked on or that needs to be achieved in a certain way. It is simply the absence of insecure thinking. When all the insecure thinking drops away, you're naturally exuding confidence. And that is not in the behavior in and of itself as, oh, I'm telling people off. It's just the way you hold yourself. It's in your being. It's just the way you are. You just are. And there's nothing else really to it. And so the question, well, is vulnerability, what does that have to do with confidence? Well, if vulnerability is coming from the place of I'm going to be vulnerable, so I'm going to be perceived confident because actually I'm really insecure, then of course it has nothing to do with confidence. It's just another coping mechanism.
Oh, right. I totally get that, because there was a scenario that we were both in, and someone was trying to be like extremely honest to the point of, why are you telling us these private facts about your life? And creating this scenario where like we're all encouraged to share from this like vulnerable, extra vulnerable place, but like why, what for? So actually vulnerability could also be, or we're trying to be vulnerable, right? Acting like, oh, I'm open to sharing everything, I'm vulnerable, I'm open, I'm not hiding anything. That actually, so ironic, but that could actually play as a facade, as a mask to hide even more real vulnerable stuff.
Well, here's the thing, when there is no insecure thinking, is it still really vulnerable? Because you just share it. So I don't really know how much there is really the vulnerability component when you just are at ease with who you are. I mean, right. In my view, yes, there can be, in the sense of like, oh, there is some insecurities coming up around a certain topic, and you decide to share it anyways.
Yes.
So in that way, you are vulnerable and you're confident at the same time, because you're not taking those insecurities as real.
Absolutely. So to tie vulnerability and confidence together, what I'm seeing here is that maybe what vulnerability really means is those moments of discomfort, right? Because there are things that we can be honest with ourselves about, and we don't have any problem maybe having a dialogue within our own heads about that topic, but maybe as a societal thing, it's not socially accepted to actually talk about it openly. Let's say maybe it'll even come across as really rude and inappropriate. So why would we do that, right? So in certain scenarios, it doesn't make sense to do that. But say we're feeling courageous and we want to share, something with someone, and a level of discomfort comes up, then I actually see that as vulnerability. It doesn't mean that, you're just sharing with the world whatever it is that you think is necessary to show up as vulnerable, but it's actually, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm in a place where I'm feeling discomfort, but I'm going to go ahead and still open myself up. And I feel that's vulnerability. And at the same time, that ties in with confidence. Because you have this, like you say, confidence is the absence of insecurities. So if you're comfortable with the discomfort, then isn't that confidence, right? So how does then all of this vulnerability, dealing with discomfort, not putting masks on, the mask of, oh yes, I'm the vulnerable one, I'm so courageous, and I'm so honest and open, and also the mask of, oh, I'm confident, I can do whatever I want, I don't care what other people think, it's just me, that kind of facade or that kind of confidence. How does this actually relate to leadership? Because I think there is a relation leadership here between being honest, dealing with discomfort, being true to yourself, knowing yourself, and then letting that essence come forth in your behavior and letting that guide how you lead people.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you're spot on, and you said so much that we probably could fill several podcast episodes with each one of those topics. But when it comes to leadership, the way I see it, honesty is one of the core elements to true leadership. Because the way I see leadership, it's not just necessarily someone who is a leading position. Leadership is someone who is living with an open heart, who has a vision, who wants to create something, who is willing to go into discomfort. Because yes, you're going into the unknown, and there will be moments where it won't be as comfortable as you might like, but your vision is more important. Your vision is grander than yourself. Your vision is something for the benefit of other people. And being vulnerable in that sense and being honest is something that makes a great leader, not just a good leader, but a great leader, really.
And I can totally see how, when you're in a leadership position, a lot of people say, oh, keep your emotions to yourself, always keep this front that you have it all together. But I believe that the best managers, the best bosses, and the best leaders I've ever had in my life were the ones where I knew there was a level of transparency, a level of trust, and just communication that's real.
Yeah,
right? And not just to make me feel good in the moment, and then I know that actually they're trying to cover up something. And
yeah, because you're going to pick up on that. You're going to totally pick up when someone's trying to cover up something. And as well as a leader, you are embodying certain qualities. And so if you're embodying the quality of cover-up, then, well, do you really want to embody this? Is really something you want to give to the people that are following you? Or is the qualities that you're embodying one of honesty, of humbleness, and all of that? I think that's really important. And also the message that you send then, when you try to cover things up, is that there's certain things that are not okay, certain emotions that are not okay, and actually being open and showing that you can go through your own stuff as well, yet still lead and go in the direction that really shows strength.
And I gotta say that one of the strengths that I think is so crucial to a great leader, to a great manager, or a person of authority within business is openness or emotional maturity. And I think really what I'm trying to say is just like a good understanding in yourself and just a good foundation of your inner work. Because this reminds me of a time where I was called into the office of a boss I had. It was one of the greatest workplaces I was ever in. Very small business, but it was really, really wonderful place. And I didn't really know what my boss was going to say to me. And I think I was still interning there at that point. And I really fit the company like a glove. But this boss, he just said to me that he wanted to pause for a moment and honestly tell me that he feels sorry that, he's so busy. He's the founder, he's a co-founder. He's so busy with his work that he didn't give me enough attention, as in like training or personal guidance or mentorship, and that, I felt taken care of on the job, but that he knew he could have done more, and he knew the potential in me, and he felt bad for not being able to nurture me and help me grow in the workplace in that way. And I was really taken aback, not in a bad way. I was just really surprised because it was such great people I was working with already. But when he opened up and told me that he was even sorry for it in the first place, right, that he actually felt he had that kind of duty or responsibility, for me as an employer, and the fact that he honestly shared with me how he felt and what his intention was, and to just let his ego go, to actually say, you know what, this is what I wanted for you, I couldn't do it, and I'm sorry about it. And to have that kind of conversation, it built so much trust. And I saw him as such a legitimate leader. I saw him as someone I wanted to work for, someone who, I would do more, sacrifice more for. And to me, that's true leadership, and that's vulnerability. Not because he wanted to tell me so he would look like a good boss. Like, he didn't do it out of a place of trying to manipulate me or trying to get more out of my work and that kind of thing, right? Or trying to seem like he's such a human, boss, right? That wasn't his intention. And it's just incredible when you have moments of that.
So someone listening to our podcast, they're probably thinking, oh, well, that sounds all great, and how do I get my rock-solid, unshakable confidence? Because I need to get it.
And you want to be a great leader, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. So how are you going to do it?
The first step, and please help along, Jachym, if you can fill in the other steps. I believe the first step is to actually look at what is holding you back. What are the things that you're trying to cover up, and what are you trying to hide from? Because it's really hard to hold an honest conversation, a confident conversation with someone else without pretty much covering your ass. It's impossible to do that unless there's nothing you're hiding from within yourself. Every single conversation, every single interaction, we have another human being. Or, at all, just broadcasting ourselves in our business, in our marketing, in our personal brand. It's just showing who we are. And the moment you don't seem confident, that's when something's just slightly off. So to actually begin to look inward and see, what am I hiding? What's going on that just gives me those nibbly feelings, right? That's actually, I know, is holding myself back or is a blockage of sorts. That's a really, really great starting place to come from.
And you take some courage, because most people are afraid because they've put it away and they don't want to look at it because of whatever reasons. So looking at it takes a bit of courage, and takes especially a level of honesty with yourself. The other thing that I want to point out, because we can get hung up in the whole thing about I need to get confidence, okay, so I need to work through all those things and all that, whatever. But again, we go back to what I said, it's the absence of insecure thinking. Well, that can happen at any point. You can at any point drop out of any kind of insecure thinking into confidence, well-being, peace, whatever you call it. And I think that's something that lots of people may lose sight of, that they think, oh no, okay, so I'm not there yet, I need to work on the X, Y, Z and all of that. While there's definitely use for looking at certain things, looking at patterns, looking at stuff that you keep hiding and, that is uncomfortable, I definitely agreed with that. It's very, very useful, knowing that at any point you can just drop out of your insecure thing, because it's thought. It's made out of thought. There's nothing more behind it. It's a grand illusion. When you drop out of it, you're in it. And so you can go into a meeting feeling completely insecure, and the next moment you can drop just in the right state and do the presentation or the meeting or whatever it is with perfect ease and perfect confidence. It's at any moment that's possible.
And if you're looking to increase your confidence or connect to your confidence, I would actually take a look at the obsession that we may have with tactics and strategies. If you're trying to increase your confidence or connect to your confidence, another thing that I would highly recommend to take a look at is the obsession we all have with tactics and strategies and things we can do to get it. Because just like we said, yes, confidence does translate into your behavior and your action and what you do, and we today gave a great deal of examples of people saying the right things, doing the right things, and outwardly pretty much showing in their behavior that they're really confident. Now, I really, really don't want us to get hung up and trapped in the thinking that it must look that way, that confidence has to be this extremely outward flow of expression, and it has to be so obvious. Like that, it's in you, so of course everyone will see it, and you'll say it, and you'll act it, It doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah, this is a really good point, because confident people who seem confident in the moment, they're not thinking, yeah, I'm so confident right now. They're just doing their thing. They don't have any thought about themselves.
Yeah, and if it's really true confidence, it could be so subtle. People might not even, like, it might not hit them mentally, like intellectually, but they'll feel something. And I think that's another level. I don't want to say another level, but that is what I think confidence truly is. When someone shows up in the room, they barely have to do anything or say anything, but you're able to feel it and you sense it. Now that's someone being confident versus acting or trying to be, or just portraying themselves as confident. And we all know someone in our lives. There's always somebody who, they sit down in their room and everyone's already listening, but they've not even opened their mouth.
All right, yeah. This has been all about confidence today, and leadership and vulnerability and all this juicy stuff, so I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have anything else to add?
Absolutely. Now, you might be thinking, what's so funny, Jachym?
I was trying to wrap it up.
That was great.
And instead of saying it's time to wrap it up, I was trying to do it myself.
You were doing wonderful. Now, what I would love to add is, how does this apply for you in a business perspective? It's great to feel confident in your daily life. It absolutely is, isn't it, Jachym? But how does this help you in your business? In our personal brands and in being a solopreneur, you are representing you. Now, everything that you share, everything you do is going to be a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Now, it doesn't matter if it's your copy, your writing, your video, scripts you create, or just calls that you are on. Every single touch that you have, every single thing that you share out there can be a way for you to be confident. And I don't want to say, it's a way for you to show that you're confident. No, just be confident, and it'll just infiltrate through all your work, and people will, just like the example that I gave with my previous boss, they'll trust you more. They'll see you as a natural leader. They'll actually try to listen to what you have to say. They'll see you as someone who, they want to be around, right? So this really helps to create a following, or to create human interactions that in their gut, they know they actually want to be there, right? So this actually leads really well to sales and selling confidently, but this is the beginning of everything. It can be your marketing, it can be your sales, it can be for hiring, it can be every single aspect of your business. So confidence is huge, and I really hope that you got a lot out of this episode.
Let me add something to that, because here's the important thing. Forget about trying to be confident. I'm serious. You gotta forget about it, because you're gonna get obsessed. Am I confident? Am I not confident? And what are you there? You're in insecure thinking in that moment. Just forget about it. Just go and do your thing, and you're gonna do great. Forget about yourself.
It's about being. That's all it is.
Yes.
All right. So on that note, Jachym's off to bed. I might tinkle a little bit further on my computer. But thank you for joining us today, and just honestly, stick to who you are. Be true to that, and don't avoid yourself. That's all.
Oh yeah, that's it. Goodbye, good night.
Good night, and talk to you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.